I'm Shane Nyland, and my co host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi 2004. This is part 2 of our interview with Chris Kackley of Mobile Assault Platoon 1.
But funny enough, so we had Ollie, I say Ollie North, we're good buddies, but no, we had Colonel North. One of the times I didn't know who he was. I had no idea. Like I said, I'm
Sure.
18, I'm naive. I'm like, Sergeant Anthony at the time was like, drooling over him. But
Yeah.
and obviously he's a big history guy too, so he knew a lot about him. But obviously it's crazy that he rode with us. Like, he's sitting right next to me, the other side of the Humvee. This is when we did have the Air Force Humvees at one point,
Uh-huh.
and he's talking, and I think we had headphones inside the vehicles, if I remember
Uh-huh.
correctly.
Yeah,
But,
there was a system that not every Humvee had it, but the plug-in headphone mics. Yeah.
yeah, so I think we did use those at times, but we actually got into a firefight with him. We went to like go check out I don't know how we got out of it. We went to the soccer stadium
hmm
and we're standing up top, like him, and one other guy. I can't remember who it was. It might have been, I don't know if he had someone with him too. Like he had
He
like
he always had a cameraman and kind of a
That
guy
dude was cool.
who carried some gear.
okay,
Uh,
so we're standing at the top of the arena, which you think of a stadium, but it's just like, it was just benches. It wasn't like, or just concrete. It wasn't like, sophisticated like stadium, like, now you'd see in an NFL or something like that. But, and we're looking at, I think we were checking out a potential VBIED that was like a tanker truck. And we're kind of at a little bit away, 100 yards at least, and probably should have been further now that I think about it. But and like nothing's happened. All of a sudden we start getting contact from behind us. So we just turn around again. This is halfway through at least. So there was no hesitation. We start shooting. Everyone starts shooting. I mean, there's a good video of Hess like coming around the Humvee,
yeah.
and it was at a house, across the way on the other side, and we actually lit it on fire with whatever rounds we were shooting. Like, I think there must have been the bigger rounds, but started on fire, and obviously went and searched the area and all that kind of thing. But it was cool to be like, I got in a firefight with Ollie North, earlier, and he was calm as a cucumber kind of thing. So
Yep.
didn't bat an eye kind of thing. So and I think it went well for us too. Like I said, no one got hurt. Just it was a good reaction, but some of it was on video and that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool to have that. So I've seen it, at least certain things, but
Yeah, I remember those videos from the war stories. That not only that, you guys had air support that flew over on that day,
yes,
and I don't even know, because we never had air support. That's why it was
right.
so unique. And like,
Yep.
you see a Cobra come flying over, I was like, Jesus, man, this looks awesome.
Yeah. So that was my good memories with him. But I wish I could go back now and ask him questions and just talk to him, not be, my naive little self, and just be like, but I've got to see him. I got to go down. I went to Sergeant Condi's memorial building
The dedication of it.
station. So he was there. So I took a picture of him then, because I don't even know if I have a picture of him when I was in 04, which I know Sergeant Anthony did, but I again didn't realize not severity of him, but just the
Yeah.
big, how big of a person he really was,
Right.
in the Marine Corps especially. So I wish I could take a picture and show back, but I did get to ride with him, so that was cool. But
Nice. I have one specific thing that I remember from Map 1
yeah,
that maybe you remember and maybe you have some memories of. So Battle of Ramadi is all like April 6th, 7th, 8th to a lesser degree, and 10th.
yeah,
The first action out of everything, outside, I mean, Morris getting killed probably was really the first start of everything for Weapons Company. But on the morning of the 6th, very early, you guys went out and did a cordon and knock and caught like a high value target guy that I think was in the deck of cards of like most valuable people.
oh really? See,
Yeah.
I I I remember doing a cordon knock. I don't remember who. Like, I don't remember catching people. Like, what I mean, I don't remember being the one to be like, oh, I caught him, or who. If I did, I didn't know who he was. So I just was like, Like sure, we handcuffed with flexi, with ties or whatever, a bunch of people, but sure,
You're a
that
good junior Marine.
That's
Yes,
yeah.
good.
sir.
Yeah. That's right.
I always had
Which,
my blue outside, so I was not letting my security
which
down.
direction, Corporal? Which direction?
But I remember like I said, I remember going out, and after that, I remember just the waiting game, which sucked for us. Like it was terrible. We have some pictures of us just all lined up, geared up, ready to go, waiting to be called, listening to it. You got, I think it was map 2 that came back at one point,
We did.
and you guys were all amped up, and you know, and just like I'd be like, I just want to go out there, kind of thing, and not getting to do that right away it sucked at the time, I mean, because you want to be part of it for many reasons, not like for my ego, just for that's what we signed up for, that's what we're doing, that's what we're, there for. So,
Right.
so that was not fun. That was always a memory I hated. But the other thing too is our platoon commander. One of the reasons I probably wasn't good at memorizing the city as well, like, yeah, we knew Michigan and some of the other ones. We used to go crazy ways.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
we were
yeah.
going to wherever. We were going, I don't know what, pick a location that was further out. We would not go the main route. We might go the main route, cut off, go like a million side streets, cut back on, cross the way, cut back in. And that was obviously a good thing looking back because we weren't predictable, and not that anyone was predictable, but just it allowed us to not get hit. And we still got hit by, a handful of IEDs, one of the times we got hit from IED, it was actually one of the times we were going right down Michigan, middle of the night, and our Humvee got hit, and only one of the 155s went off. And I remember they were digging up, and there was 6 or 7 of them. They didn't go off, and it's like I just remember getting sprayed in the face by dirt or sand,
Yeah.
and that was it. But no shrapnel or anything like that. And we said it went right in front of us, and like in front of the Humvee, and certainly gave us all a good, I say woke us up, but just kind of like scared the shit out of us for a second. Them telling us like, oh yeah, there was a bunch of them in there, and they only went right. Took a little bit to get all of a sudden get into that, not even get into the groove of it, just to happen, And I say bad timing for that kind of stuff, but it's like that's just the way it goes, no one, I don't know if platoons who got into more contact early were saying they're lucky because they might not say that, you know what I mean? So, but obviously as young Marines, you just want to engage, and do what you need to do. But back to the story about, like I said, we're in a Humvee, we're in the high back at that point, and wide open. We're kind of in an alley, so we're in that fatal funnel, but not, but we were doing something, so it was like whatever. And Solis is like, hey, why don't you move that Humvee? So they move us into like a little bit better, like a kind of the building is blocking us a little bit. And within 30 seconds, an RPG hits the wall right where we were.
No shit. Yeah.
And I just remember being like, holy shit, like that, that's crazy. Had we been standing there, would have either hit one of us or hit the side of the Humvee, and probably hurt a lot, but if not killed somebody. So I don't get to talk to him. He's one person I've never we haven't had contact with. So to have his info, I'd love to get it. But so I always wanted to thank him. Be like, I know you might not remember this, but you potentially saved one of our lives that day, just by having us move to a better position. So
absolutely, yeah. No, it's crazy. Everybody does, but of the instances of like, how the fuck did like things stack up where that didn't go worse? The very short one of mine is I stood on top of an IED for about 20 minutes. And they decided not to pop it while I was standing on top of it. But then, 2 hours later, I think it was Fox Company that got hit by it. But I was standing like literally right on top of it.
Right. We wouldn't be doing this interview had it not, for whatever reason, gone off or whatever. So it is crazy. Like I said, with the amount of action the battalion saw overall over those 6 to 8 months kind of thing, part of it's luck, part of it's not luck, because a lot of people didn't come home. So yeah, so that's one thing I think about too, not to get too deep in the weeds in that, but like, I always feel guilty, one, not getting injured. It's like, not because we didn't do anything, but because I'm in one piece,
Sure.
And that's something I've always struggled with, certainly over the past 20 years, whatever, but I'm sure I'm not alone in that feeling, but just,
no, I think everybody too. Well, I don't want to make too general a statement. I'll just say for myself, I know even though I was wounded, although I know I've was in quite a few firefights. There's always this sense of, did I do enough? I wish
Yeah.
I would have done more. Like there's like this, like, and it's not guilt necessarily. It's just kind of, I don't know. There's a level of the Marine Corps infantry in particular, especially at that time, really instilled this professional warrior ethos of like, this is what a warrior is and how it looks and everything. And then you're just you want to live up to that. And if you ever think that there's a possibility that you're not worthy of that title, you're kind of like, oh man, I want to embody this thing that was promised to me or whatever. I don't know if that
No,
makes
that's like
sense, but
that's very true. It's like I said, the cult side of the Marine Corps, it tells you like, like you said, this is what you should be,
Uh-huh.
and we're there to kill, kill, kill kind of thing, and that has been very effective, certainly over the 250 years of the Marine Corps kind of thing. So, I just had a train of thought and I forgot about it. But so yeah, no, I fully understand that. I mean, it's just like I said, are they doubts? I don't know. Are they just what if? So like I said, some of it's just me evolving as a person while I was there. I grew up. We all grew up pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah.
yes.
I wasn't, and not that I was the most immature person growing up, but I certainly didn't come back the same person. That I was, I turned 18. Actually, no, I turned 19 while I was there, April
Okay.
4th.
Oh,
Um,
really? Oh, wow.
so my birthday's always been a shitty remembrance of everything.
Did
So,
you did they do anything
Mhm.
for your birthday? Did anybody know? Or did
so
you
me
did
and
you keep
Silver
that
had
under
this.
the wraps and
No,
not let anybody
no.
know?
They knew. I think Chico was the one who knew, so he kindly told everyone. But me and Silver have the same birthday as well, so it was a joint party, and we did a nice walkthrough, and everyone gave us a nice love tap on our chest or whatever it was, back, something like that. Just a nice slow walk through a line, and a love tap, I'll call those. And and again, at the time, that was the part of the Marine Corps, like give it to me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll accept it. Uh, and yeah.
Uh,
So I think something I do remember just talking about. That's what my train of thought. And somehow I remember hearing this, whether it's true or not. Like the most dangerous job in 2004 was a Lance Corporal machine gunner or something like that. And I became a Lance Corporal while I was over there, and then and I was a machine gunner, obviously. So just
sure.
I actually was on a Humvee or not all the time, but so I just remember that and like show a little pride to wear that,
Sure.
but so
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, statistically speaking, that's probably true, or at least it's
right,
close to true.
exactly during that time frame that would make sense, but
Yeah.
I I don't know. I think I tried looking it up. I couldn't find anything. So I was like, I don't know who told us that, but
While technically our battalion has the highest number of casualties in a single deployment, it's not like we're winning that by leaps and bounds. There were multiple other battalions who were in the 30s of casualties in their battalion and
Mhm.
during their deployment. So there are a lot of dudes got chewed up during 2004 through 2006.
yeah, no, yeah, right. And yeah, it's like it's a badge of honor to like, to say how much combat our battalion did receive, but the flip side, you think about all the guys, who didn't come home, that kind of thing. So,
Yep.
like it's a balance kind of thing. So,
Very much
um,
so.
but I know like I try to live my life, and I've told this to some of the family members I've talked to, like I try to be the best person I can, knowing I am getting to live a full life. Like I said,
Mm.
with all the aches and pains and the whatever. It's like I get to have a family and those guys don't. So it's like, trying to honor them in that sense is all we can do, kind of thing. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
I definitely feel that.
you kind of started to talk about a little bit of hooch life. You can remember any good stories? You lived with Pace, so there has to be at least a
uh,
few good stories in the hooch.
yeah,
Fucking Pace. I miss that guy.
another guy gone too soon, but after the deployment. So
Yeah.
uh, Pace, oh,
Or anybody. I mean, I just
I know, no, no, no. So Hooch Life was. Do you remember it was canvas, and then they
Yep.
eventually put on like the insulation or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I slept on the top bunk. Fui was below me, and I just remember sweating up there like profusely, just being like, it's so hot, because they didn't have air conditioners right away. I thought, like, remember they eventually put the wall
Yep.
units on,
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
but and it just being so hot to the point where I actually took uh, I took a mattress from somewhere we went, and I slept on the ground next to the bunk. I didn't sleep on my top bunk, and I took a mattress from a home, and I got fleas. Um, I know, please. I had to ask for someone to send me a flea collar put next to my bed to try to get rid of them because I didn't know I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Um, the mattress had fleas.
Oh, that's
I
too
got rid of the mattress.
funny.
Crazy. I just think I just left it as is and thought like, oh, the fleas will go away, kind of thing. So, um,
I had
so
not. That's
yep. Uh, Stevens fell off the top bunk more than once, I think, and like smashed his face. And I remember waking up and like going over checking him or doing turn the lights on because I couldn't wake everyone up. So and like his face is all bloody because he literally fell off the top bunk, which were not low bunk beds,
No,
um,
they're high, very high.
and uh, and like literally smashed his face. Probably had a concussion, multiple concussions he's had, I feel like. But and I was just like, okay, like clean it up and go back to bed, kind of go back to sleep on the top bunk. I think he did that more than once. So there was another time occasionally we used to have to uh we used to have to put our helmets on because if there was potential for incoming. I don't know how we got those reports or how that worked. So it
Hmm.
was like jackets and helmets, and we were all watching a show in the corner, and there's a picture of us, like, 15 of us, let's say, all with our flak jackets and helmets on, watching a little show on a little like TV we had that was this big.
Yeah.
Uh, just looked ridiculous, but I was like, hey, we got to watch our show. So, um, but a lot of those kind of memories, running out of water. I remember I got mad at Fui because he used to take long showers, and you can tell him this. Um, and he was a pretty boy, so he used to take these long, like 7-minute showers where I'm in there doing like the Navy shower, like in and out kind of thing, real quick. And
Uh-huh.
uh, so, uh, but I was junior to him, so and he was my boss for a little bit. So, I didn't say a whole lot. Every once in a while we get into it, but uh, yeah. So one of the times I do remember, this is I say not being scared. There was very few times where I remember being like scared, like not just basically not knowing what's going on, this kind of thing.
sure.
Our hooch got hit by a mortar, like right out in front. And
Yeah.
if you remember, the front of it was all spackled, but luckily it was like concrete or whatever it was. So nothing went through. But I remember sleeping. I was sleeping at the time and it woke me up and I didn't know what it was, just a loud explosion. And I remember waking up being like in a daze kind of thing, not concussed, obviously, but
Sure.
just being like, what's going on? I don't know if it was, I don't think it was the middle of the night. I think it was early morning, like 5 a.m. kind of thing. So
Hmm.
so like I woke up and was just like confused. I'm like, where am I? What's going on? Why, um, what's happening? What was that loud noise? Like so and then we all went out and looked and I was like, oh wow, holy shit, the whole front speckled with mortar, blown away from the mortar. But so and then we had no AC for a little bit. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
had
it
that.
took out. Oh, that's
Uh
right. I remember you guys lost that unit.
it was a brutal like there was a little stretch where it was so hot and we didn't have the AC, and there's a picture of us all sitting outside the hooch.
Yeah.
We just look 1,000 years old and uncomfortable. Like everyone's got their shirts off, or they're just like, I think you can see some of the Mat 2 guys out there too. Just like it was just a hot day in general, a hot morning.
Yeah.
We just all look like worn out. Like this is, this sucks. But so I always like that picture.
And there was if I remember, like the AC worked in the COC, and you guys were taking like 2 man because there wasn't enough room for anybody. So you guys were taking like 2-man shifts to go enjoy some AC.
Yeah, yes, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Uh, so did you ever get to go into the I say the mansion, I always call it the mansion, but like
Yeah. I was in the palace quite often
okay.
for intel briefs and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, see, I didn't get to do any of that. But that's where I first met Sergeant Major Ellis. Um, I had to bring something over there early on, and he like right away was like, "Oh, like, who are you and what are you doing here?" But in a not an asshole way, but I was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, I'm whatever PFC. I don't know what it was. PFC Kackley. Delivering this mail or something like that." He's like, "Oh, you're a machine gunner." And he's like, once they said like, "Oh, you're who you were," he's like, "Oh, you're big. Big boost of confidence." And just one of the memories I always stick with him, stick with me about him. My third son is actually named after him.
Oh wow,
Sergeant Major
that's awesome.
his name is Ellis. So I know it's his last name, but still, we wanted to do something just to remember him. But he always stuck to
Nice.
me as uh, a big-hearted guy, but bigger than life kind of thing. So
Absolutely.
He was a big personality, man, and he was a real cool dude. And I think almost everybody I know that ran across him, even just once, has the same kind of story like you have, where it's just like, oh, like just a nice dude. Like it was a weird in the Marine Corps. That's a weird thing. Like he was funny. He still had, you knew he was in charge. Like he had leadership charisma dripping from him, but
yes.
he always made you feel good.
No. Yeah, never once would I be like, I want to cross him at all. Like,
Nope.
you could have that little bit of a conversation. He's usually the one initiating it. And yeah, I only remember going to the palace to do like laundry and stuff, which even then, I don't think we did laundry a whole lot. So,
Well, the washer sucked. It was just more of an ordeal than anything else. So
Yeah.
uh, but it was always cool in there. I just remember, cool, like literally. But so yeah, the ACs, let's see. We always make fun of Kern. That's one thing. If you get to talk to Kern, Kern's a good person. If you could, get him on. He used to always have Cheez-Its, a box of Cheez-Its when he was laying in his bed. And I think he actually set up like a little hammock. So we always gave him shit for, just sitting there with his Cheez-Its kind of anytime we had downtime or whatever, which didn't seem like a whole lot in some aspects of it, but
Yeah.
always doing something, always on a night QRF or doing the 4 hour posts was, thinking about it like 4 hours every week or every day, every other, not
Mhm.
every 4 hours you're doing a post basically. So Hooch Life was fun, but we have some funny pictures, that I could send you guys just of guys doing funny stuff. And, you know, um, I don't know if you guys remember this. This is to go back to Morris. Oh, actually, it was the night of the day that Sergeant Condi was killed. Sergeant Santiago has a picture of him. I was actually on bridge duty, so I wasn't there, but I have the hard photo. So there's no like AI involved. Um, there is a dove that landed on his hand, and he has it in the hooch. It was very bizarre. Uh, but again, spiritual, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Like, what are the
Yeah.
odds that a dove would land, on your hand, and he literally has it in the hooch, like on his hand? We didn't have a pet dove, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
It's wild.
bizarre,
Yeah.
and
Very, very weird.
what was that? Like, and I know he was close with him, so
Yeah.
he's another guy I didn't know well, but the few interactions I had, I always remember him being like someone I didn't want to cross, but just he talked to me a couple times, like not being the typical like I'm a sergeant, I'm a whatever, you're a little dickhead,
Yeah.
PFC kind of thing. So
You talking about Condi?
yeah,
Yeah.
like at least that's how I remember seeing him. Like,
Mhm.
he wasn't a dick. And I remember he was, like I said, talking to Sergeant Anthony at one point, and you know, uh, just I was like, oh, he kind of reminded me of someone from home. So like I had a good envision of him kind of thing. So, but
Yeah, he was a motivator, man. He was
yeah,
all
And
about the junior Marines.
and a very cerebral individual. Like he tried to talk to people about things that weren't like he didn't just talk to you about, Marine Corps shit and police calling trash or whatever the fuck. Like he was always trying to talk about some other topic. He was always about history or about some random book he read or something else. It was
okay,
interesting. He was an
yeah,
interesting dude.
yeah. I know. I wish I got to know him more. I got to talk to his parents at the 20th, which was really nice, and they're awesome people. So that was a again one thing to bring those families together. Going back to that is huge. So, um, but Hooch Life, I do go and I think it because I think he did one of these with you guys, Sergeant Miranda. Did he do
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He was always like a rough for me, like had like a like I didn't want to fuck with him kind of thing. Obviously he was senior to us, so but I think I had to go in there at one point and I had to ask for something. And he gave me this death stare of like, who the fuck are you asking? I was like, I'm told to go, like, I just remember being like thinking, like, I'm just the messenger here. Like, here to pick up like ammo or something like that. And I just remember being like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to him because he's already intimidating kind of thing. So um, but that's one of the memories. I know he's not like that. And, I know I like him overall.
It's funny because he's actually a really nice dude, but I agree, his persona and demeanor when we were in the Marine Corps was ice stare all the time. Yeah, terrifying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just remember that specifically because I saw his name on the list of people. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anytime going into another hooch with another, like being new, like I said, you guys had a little bit of rapport with some of the other guys, kind of
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I knew the guys I was with and a couple other guys, but it was intimidating to walk in other hooches, certainly.
Funny you mentioned that because I often had to go over and talk to other platoons for different reasons. But even as like a sergeant and a leader, and I knew who I was talking to and all that, I didn't have any like worry about, junior Marine shit. But it felt like prison, like going to a different cell block, dude. You get stared at and mean mugged. Like, why the fuck are you in here? Like, dude, it was every hooch had its own little personality and weird shit. And you're like, I just want to borrow a movie. And they're like, get your movie, get the fuck out.
Yeah. And it's crazy because we're literally 10 feet next door to you, doing all the same shit at different times, kind of thing. So,
yeah.
Well, I'll take it even one step further because I hadn't thought about that until you guys brought that up. 81s was split. So it was in two sections. We were a full ass, never divided up, never mixed up platoon prior to Ramadi.
Right.
It still was weird going into their hooch. And you still kind of like I need to knock on the door and kind of be like, I'm gonna get in and get out. Like if we're gonna have a conversation, let's go into the smoke pit, let's talk outside and stuff like that. I had not thought about that until you brought that up, but that was 100% true.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was just popped in my head. Do you guys remember playing dodgeball?
Oh yeah.
Because that was the big movie that came out, I think that year. Must have came out sometime during that time frame. But I remember all of a sudden that being like a phase where anytime we were back, we played over by map 3 on the other side of map 3's, hooches or whatever.
Yeah, they had that blank patch of sand where we could actually do shit.
Yeah. I just remember that was a good memory kind of thing. So
there's a video of that, of us playing dodgeball. Yeah, it's great. It's some people yelling, people throwing dodgeballs. It's great, dude. It's good.
I wonder where we got dodgeballs from.
If I remember correctly, it was Silton. Silton got, I may be wrong, but Silton or Vigil, one of the two, would get sports equipment sent to them. They got some golf clubs. They got a volleyball net at one point in time. They got a lot of stuff.
Huh. That's one thing so I went to boot camp with a guy named Tissue. He was in Echo Company. And he's one of the few guys I was like in the same platoon and then like obviously stayed, in our, in 2-4 together the whole time. We had a bunch of guys who were in our company for boot camp, but not in my actual platoon.
Mm-hmm.
So his sister, she just finished. She just stopped doing it. She sent her last packages this year. She started sending us packages because he like said like, oh, we need whatever, I don't know, socks or candy bars or whatever. And she started sending us all care packages, and she still does it to this. She just finished. She did 20 years, over 20 care packages. And I would still get them. I still get letters from her now, and we talk here and there. And I've only met her twice, I think. And she'd send like over 1 million care packages over her 20 years, something like that, something crazy.
That's incredible.
He would send us like the candy bars and whatever. And do you remember I remember getting the joint ones, like meaning like it was just like a universal one to like a platoon,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
Sergeant Garcia would bring it in and he would yell, "Rat fuck!" And he would open it up and guys would just, grabbing stuff and stick in their pockets or, kind of hoarding it if you could. So, get a granola bar for the patrol or whatever. So, um, but I just remember that was like a funny memory of he every time we got mail, it was, rat fuck or anything like that. And just people go crazy about, I said probably like prison, but
A little bit.
yeah. Uh,
I forgot about those bigger group ones. Because I remember somehow, some way, to the company there was someone or some group or something, but we kept getting books.
Yep.
huh.
There was a few different church groups that had our addresses and like veterans groups and stuff like that. There was some like Jewish Alliance for Freedom or something like that that would send over books as well and a lot of stuff. It was an interesting rainbow parade of groups that would send stuff, which I mean it was cool, very much appreciated. But
Right, right.
Yeah, some of those care packages were great, had like, other things to keep you entertained, or and I know that for that period of time when we couldn't get any hot rats because it got too hot, and so they were having a hard time. We were living off of a lot of the food that was sent over to us. But every once in a while, I remember opening one up from a random group and being like, "What the?"
Right.
It's all like extra small, like black T-shirts. Like, thanks, but this is like
Yeah.
no one. A, we can't wear this. B, no one's going to fit into this. This is now like cleaning rags for.
I was gonna say cleaning for your rifle. Yeah, there you go. Did, can you guys correct me? Do we only get hot meals a day, right?
yes, that
Yeah.
that was all I remember.
The whole time, right? So we get an
as,
MRE
as often as we had it, yes. Like they
right, sometimes
only right, yeah, but they only open the chow hall twice. Well, I think the chow hall was open 3 times a day, but they didn't serve
you only get two
hot
meals.
rats.
Yeah.
Hot rats, yeah.
And that's like I said, if we got it from the base behind us, the big red one or whatever was behind us.
That was if the log train was able to come through. There were days
Yeah.
that it couldn't come through.
Yeah.
There were days when there weren't extra meals or anything. We had like tea rats sometimes that were damn near the Vietnam style tea rats.
Yeah. That's one thing I remember. And I had this weird thing with carrot cake for a long time. 'Cause I feel like that was the only dessert we had.
It was.
Yep. Yep.
It's because those motherfuckers pilfered all the good stuff.
Yeah, no,
Like by the time it got to us, they had already grabbed all the chocolate and the vanillas and stuff like that.
right. So I just remember having carrot cake and being like, I'm done with carrot cake for a while. Like, I don't. This is bringing back. So.
I didn't realize that was why I didn't like carrot cake for a really long time until people started talking like, oh, that's right. I got like, and it was the same way with it's the same goddamn way with peanut butter flavored bars.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It took me years before, and to this day, I still like have a full body shudder if I see those goddamn Nature Way peanut butter bars. Like it literally like it makes me do a full body shudder because of the amount of those motherfuckers that I ate over there.
No, no. Yeah, snacks. Like I said, I remember asking and saying like, "Oh, just send me granola bars, candy bars, something I can stick in my pocket to like on those long patrols." And they said, I just it is crazy that we didn't have hot meals. I know MREs are more than enough calories, kind of thing, but
yeah.
So just barely edible though.
I would say more than enough calories and somewhat terrible for you. I mean, they will get you through life, but the amount of sodium and fucking processed shit that's in there to keep you alive and to keep it from rotting for 20 years is terrible.
Right. Yeah, that's I think I had my family try them. I'm sure everyone did, but
sure.
Oh yeah.
I should buy them once for my kids now. Just show
they've gotten better. They've put some more effort into making them taste good. So the ones that we had were
different. Yeah.
Different.
Like you said, probably more like Vietnam style. Like, oh, well, we've got plenty of leftovers. So
I learned to eat my eggs with ketchup and Tabasco sauce off of the hot rats. Same with the hurricane hockey pucks.
Oh,
you know, the hamburgers that we used to get that were just.
Yeah.
I used to not like fresh tomato, but that was like the only way that I could get it moist enough to be able to swallow. You know, like.
Did you guys partake in the Iraqi food when they brought it over? When they had like a meeting with somebody, like, you guys might have been in the meeting, but I certainly was not. And then it was like, oh, you can go have some. It was like goat and whatever else. I ate it and I got so sick after, and a bunch of us got really sick.
So I only
And
did it once, and that's exactly what happened to me. I have a very vivid memory of shitting in some Iraqi's front yard because I could not hold it anymore, and I was supposed to be holding a corner, but I couldn't, and I jumped the wall
yeah,
and took a shit. Yeah, it was awful.
yeah, I was luckily back at that time. Like we weren't, we were doing whatever. And so this porta potty, which weren't very much nicer certainly than a yard or wherever, but
Yeah.
I would
I
rather
couldn't
take the yard, to be honest, than
bring
go
in couldn't bring in the trucks to empty them out, and they'd be just like overflowing with shit and just disgustingness. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
that was a memory I haven't forgot about, certainly.
Some dudes got to partake in the food at the government center quite a lot. I did not. I got tea at the government center quite a bit. There was a guy who, I don't know, for whatever reason, would come out and bring a couple of us tea all the time.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, maybe he's flirting, I don't know. But anyway, we got tea.
Oh, see, I only
got-
remember going to the government center a handful of times. Sorry, Blake.
No, go ahead.
No, that was it. Just like I completely forgot about it until you just said it. Like I remember doing a couple posts there, like while we were there doing whatever, setting up security, like on their little outpost or whatever. But I don't remember going there a whole lot. Like maybe we did and I didn't know what we were at, kind of thing. But
More than likely, what was happening is you're probably on a post the entire time, and so one post kind of feels like any other post, and so you were probably up on the roof. I know Rocha and I ended up going up there a lot, and it was just an LPOP, while everybody else was doing everything else, and one rooftop looks like any other,
right.
And so,
okay, so that would make more sense why, but I completely forgot about it till you just said it, Shane. They're like, oh, the government's like, I can picture it in my head now, but
I bet if we showed you pictures, you would remember the layout more. Same way with the police department.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like we went out there, we babysat them a ton, but you just held post, or just rotted inside the truck because you were like you're standing by to go roll somewhere, and those fuckers couldn't get their heads out of their ass. Oh shit! Oh man, I completely remember. Great. So one time we were at the police station, and I can't remember any of the details other than we needed to roll out real fast, and we had convinced it was the police or the ICDC. I don't remember which one it was, but remember they had those white trucks, and they had a mounted machine gun on the back of it, right? And they would, it was like a clown car that they would just like try to pile a bunch of guys onto the back of it, right? Well, they piled a bunch of guys on the back. We were going to take off, and they were going to be in between us. So we had two trucks go out, and it was going to be like 2-3 of their trucks or whatever. And then I don't remember where we were going to go, but the guy in the back, they were like all gung ho, and the driver floored it before everybody could like hold on. And it threw basically everybody out of the back of the truck. and they all like jumped up and like run and ran and jumped in the back of it. Oh man, that was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So
they weren't the smoothest. That would have been a good memory to have, though.
We were bitching about our gear when we started talking about this, and I didn't feel bad for those dudes at the time because I had a feeling like you should be taking some ownership of your area and your country, which was probably just an aggressive young male thought more than anything else. But those dudes talk about being underfunded and undergeared. We were asking them to do shit they didn't have. Often they had an AK with one mag, no body armor, certainly no armor on the vehicles. And we're like, yeah, go pull security with these people who are trying to kill you because you're near us.
Right. No, that's very true. Yeah. Going back to the bridges, and you were talking about vehicles, I just remember like you're always looking for like a black Opel or just that like I somehow a couple weeks ago I thought of that. I don't know why. I was just like driving somewhere. I'm just like black opal was like the car we were always looking for
Yeah.
someone, but there's a million of them, so and they do these weddings going by the bridges, and they're
Uh-huh.
all, and I think early on they were shooting. I think they learned quickly that they can't do that, um, but they would like, celebrate and shoot and do whatever, but um, that it just popped in my head when you were talking black opals. I don't know, so that's something we were always on the lookout for, black opal, but um,
We were out on a night mission. Now that again, you're triggering memories talking about that. We were out on a night mission and we got word. We're like, hey, Iraq is in like the World Cup or not. It wasn't the World Cup. It's some major soccer match. And if you hear shooting, that's probably what it is, right? Well, there was shooting before the match had ever ended, so that was not what it was. But then when they won, it was like the whole city was shooting at the same fucking time. It was insane.
I
There's like,
remember that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I
Like
remember that.
1,700 AKs going off in your ear. It was so loud and crazy.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I did not think about that until I just like jogged a little. Like I said, just a little enough to go. I remember them telling us about it,
Yeah.
and like I said, we weren't out. We're on post and like, oh, that's just them doing whatever. But
Well, and I remember all of us being like, well, now what do we do? Because those bullets are going to come down. What do we? Do you
but
just sit here and hope? And we did. We just sat there. Nothing happened.
yeah.
But yeah.
Uh, Speaking of bullets coming down, also they mortared our base. Obviously, there'd be a handful of times it was, mortaring it, whatever, and they mortared like the not the armory, the what were the Humvees called? Where were they stored
Motor
at?
pool.
The motor pool. Yeah. Yeah.
I think they mortared like mortared one of their Connex boxes or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Yep.
So
They
that was
rocketed it. Yeah. And it set it on fire.
yeah, right, a big fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I can't remember if that was the same morning that we got hit with ours, or if that was different, but um, I just remember that fire being huge, and you know, um, luckily you said shit luck, or good luck, I should say, that no one was there. It was just I don't know where those guys lived, probably in the palace, but
So they had hooches that were near the motor pool guys had hooches that were near the palace, but they didn't live in the palace.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I remember,
their hooch setup was very similar to ours. It was just on the other side of Hurricane Point.
yeah, I don't, yeah, even we had that third outpost. Remember, like I don't know what came about, like why, if they were thought they were going to come through the river, and they
Oh right. Yeah.
outpost in the back, which was talk
Mhm.
about boring. That one was like not looking at anything, you know. And I remember we didn't do it forever, but or we did the Humvee. Now that I just say that, we did the
Uh,
Humvee inside the base,
uh-huh.
just facing out, like I'm just like that is, that just triggered that memory because I don't know
I
I
how we
forgot all about that.
So I
yeah.
think it would, I don't remember who all was involved, but I know it was definitely me and Condi and a couple other people who bitched about that Humvee so many times that was like, look, if they make it through, like that Humvee is not going to be the thing
Right.
that like we may stop a car bomb, but if a car bomb can go through that like concrete slalom and get through the headquarters guys, like we're not going to be the ones.
Right.
The weird thinking with the post that was out by the helipad that you're talking about that was facing out on the canal and the river intersection, we got intel that there were Chechen trained divers that were going to come
Goddamn
on,
Chechens.
yep, that were going to come on to American bases in Ramadi via water. And since we were the only ones that were butted up against water, we were the one. It was either us or Blue Diamond or whatever. So we spent, I don't know if you remember, but we spent all day. We strung out triple strand concertina wire on the banks of the fucking Euphrates
Remember that,
and
yeah.
and engineer stakes, sharpened engineer stakes, which was fucking psychotic. Like we were World War II setting up for a beach mission and all the way around. And then yeah, then you guys had to do that post. And it wasn't that long. It was, whatever it
Uh,
was, two,
I just
3 weeks, but it was
doing a
fucking
handful of
stupid
times.
as hell.
It was stupid, yeah. Um, Throwing weapons in the Euphrates or
Oh
getting
yeah.
Oh yeah.
exposing them, like a lot of them, a lot of weapons, basically, for
I
any
remember
class.
when we got told that we had to stop doing that because we had anything that we captured, we were going to hand over to the ICDC and the Iraqi police because going back to an early part of our conversation, they were underfunded and
Huh?
undersupplied. But we started pinching the gas tubes
Oh,
Yeah.
instead
yeah, I
of
don't,
just giving a
yeah,
full functioning one back. We were like, fuck that. They're
Yep.
yeah,
using it against us because it was at that point that we could not trust them. I mean, it was just as likely that they were a bad guy posing as a good guy as it was that they were a good guy being a good guy. And so
exactly.
we were pinching all the gas tubes
Yeah.
Yeah, I
with
don't,
a pair
I
of
know what's
Leatherman.
going on. I
Reach
don't
in
stop
there
mentioning, but
quick.
I'm glad we did that because God, someone did that. But um,
I,
that
I
was
think it I think it was me and Pacheco from your platoon. We set out like 100 AK mags and ran over it with a Humvee
oh, see,
because we were gonna box them all up.
I do remember one of the biggest cache that at least I remember was map one got was it was like I don't remember where we were, but it was just like it was hundreds of like it is picture. I have a picture of they had like a little like Russian whatever machine gun and
Yeah.
just like hundreds of magazines and weapons and rifles and AKs and all that stuff and just so many that like it was one of the bigger caches we had ever found. And I remember we had pictures of guys like holding them and doing different
Yeah.
stuff, whatever. So
Well, that one
um,
was real weird because you guys had a bunch of exotic weapons. There was like
right,
some like lever action rifles and a couple of British Sterlings, and like I was like, wow, this is like some cool shit. This is collectible shit.
right. I know
I
what.
remember we found one from it was a World War I era, like pedestal mounted early variant machine gun that we found.
Nice.
Yeah.
Probably still operational too because that's all they had.
Yeah.
How cool would it have been if we could kept some of that stuff, bring that stuff home. But
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
um,
No
last thing
war trophies.
I found I don't remember when I found this. I think it might have been during like the fourth and the fifth or something like that when we were waiting out front. I found it a K bar. So how like obviously the main little like road that to go out of our base,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not but inside the base. Like I don't know if we had a name for that road or not, but you come out of the hooches, take a
Yeah.
left and main street right there.
Uh-huh.
To the right was like some like palm kind of looking trees, whatever they're
Hmm.
called. But they weren't the huge ones. I was out there just sitting there one like staying in the shade one day, and I found a K bar, but like an older K bar. And I gave it to my brother,
It's cool.
and I should ask him if he still has it because I didn't mail it. Obviously, I just brought it home with me like as if it was one of ours. But uh, it was just like a bizarre thing I found like in the sand. So whether someone dropped it or some old ass piece that was there prior, I don't
Right.
know. But so anyways,
Yeah. It's
that's
Cool.
super weird, man.
so.
Well, we're coming up on 2 hours. I have asked just about everybody this, and you have touched on it quite a bit anyway, actually, throughout most of the stories that you've told. Looking back 20 years on, what does all this mean to you? And what do you tell people about it?
Yeah, I always when people ask like what my deployments are like, I was like, oh, I just said they were crazy. I said, well, I have one deployment that was really crazy. Another one was crazy just in a different sense.
Hmm.
Uh, and I don't know if I would change anything. Like if I could bring people back 100%, of course I would. But the experience alone, like I'm forever changed by that, and so are we all are, and that made me part of who I am today, and and I think that's a good thing. So like I said, to be able to carry, this forward and potentially, like I said, just the way I grew in those 8 months was drastic, and that benefited me. I know, like I said, I always feel guilty sometimes saying that because then all the guys who didn't come home, but that's why I try to honor them and show them like, tell their families. We kind of got away from it, not because, but my wife and I used to send packages right around that time, right around the beginning of April, to two troops in honor of one of the members who was killed in our deployment. Just to be like, we'd contact the family and say, what are some things they liked? Oh, they liked, this CD or this granola bar and, this kind of granola bar, this kind of snack. And we'd send it and we send a little note saying, like, this is in honor of whoever, we did it 4 or 5 years in a row and then just life kind of got a little hectic with
Sure.
kids. Um, but like, if I hadn't deployed, maybe I don't do those kind of things. And, and I want to be able to do those kind of things that are, make me feel a little bit better, but know they're getting honored as well. So,
That's cool, man.
yeah, and it just, I think, our deployments were crazy. And like I said, it's tough to explain to him without talking to you guys, to anyone like, oh, well, what's crazy? Like, oh, I can't really explain that. So, so I just say it's crazy, but that there's something I'm obviously never going to forget. And this is huge for us. I think even just as a healing aspect of kind of remembering certain funny things, but, but bringing up memories that, I completely forgot about or whatever. So, and I'm looking forward to hearing the other stories and going back and listening to them, and just hearing some of the things that's going to jog some memory and hopefully make me laugh. And but I appreciate you guys doing this huge. This is big.
Nice, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're hoping to help.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to have you do one thing before we sign off. Can you say what your name and rank and what platoon you were with in 2004? Because I'm going to clip that and put it at the beginning, because normally I put it at the beginning, but we just jumped right into it.
Yeah, no. Lance Corporal Chris Kackley. Sorry, I'll say that again. So what name and rank? I'm already forgetting.
Goddamn firefighters.
I haven't done.
Name, rank, and what platoon you were with in 2004.
Okay. Lance Corporal Kackley, Map 1, Jackass.
Nice. Right on, man.
Well done.
Thank you, guys.
If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe for future episodes on your favorite podcast service.